Hey, what's up, traders? Gates Adams, the Forge Trader here. Still sounding funny. Still have all this hardware in my mouth. It's gotten a little worse since my last video, but I'm doing my best. My apologies if I sound a little funny still. I probably will for the next year. Anyway, I just wanted to, I mentioned within the last couple of weeks as I've been putting more stuff up that I am committed to doing more content. We are looking at the Forge Trader live on Apex, and that is coming soon. Finally, we have a little bit of a target date in sight. I'm not going to share it just yet until it's absolute certain, but it is going to be soon, and I am looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. The format may be a little different in the beginning stages as we get up and running in this new arena and the new platforms. But we are working our way back into it. So I will keep you guys posted on that for sure. Now, I did want to share something with you guys that is sort of trading adjacent. And to give you a little bit of context, prior to working with Apex and trading and doing all of the stuff that you guys have seen me doing over the course of the last couple of years, I was in the mattress business. I owned a small mattress shop. It was pretty much a one-man show, which meant that there were no weekends away. There was no traveling. There was no vacations other than like the biggies. I could count, in 20 years on one hand probably how many weekend getaways I had. It was just not part of my world. And at some point, years before I ended up closing down my shop for good, I made a promise to myself that whatever I did next, I had no idea what that was going to be, or even if there was going to be a next. But if there was going to be a next, I wanted to make sure that I had freedom and flexibility to be wherever I wanted. And the idea was, well, with the world of the internet, the way that it is now, that's a possibility. And that's just gotten bigger and better since I made that declaration to myself a few years ago. And so with that being said, a couple years ago, I had the idea that I would like to get an RV and have the opportunity to travel around and explore the country, just for shits and giggles. But also, I've decided that I've been in the Austin area for the last few years. That's not really where I think I'm going to set my roots. I want to find land somewhere. I'm looking like for 10 plus acres and either build something or buy something that I love or whatever the case may be. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, but that's sort of the big goal. But without knowing exactly where I want to be, I've lived a lot of places, and none of them are really on the list of where I'd like to live full-time for the rest of my life. So this gives me an opportunity to really go check that out. And because what I do is trade and content and that kind of stuff, I really can now, especially with Starlink, I can do this from anywhere. So for those of you that know, as you can see behind me, I am in my RV. And because of what I got a big fifth wheel that had an extra bedroom. I've turned the extra bedroom into basically my trading office and my studio. And I never really thought that this was going to be a real possibility until I started putting things together. And sure enough, I have my 6 monitor set up. I'll post a picture of you guys, picture for you guys to take a look at. And of course, all my recording equipment and everything. And it's like, I can't even believe how well it has come together. And so I hadn't really taken a trip yet at this point. I did go to Fort Worth and got stuck in the freeze when I had the stuff done with my mouth, the surgery. And so, but that wasn't really a quote unquote trip, vacation by any stretch. It really was just a geographical necessity, I guess. So in getting used to this whole process and getting more comfortable with everything, I decided it was time to take my first real trip. So I decided that I was going to come out and spend a week in Phoenix and see my son, who's here in flight school. And then I have a program that I'm doing next week in Vegas. And then I will head back and regroup and figure out where I go from there. So this is like my first real trip. But this is also a very different dynamic. Getting to and from Austin to Fort Worth is a few hours. Like there's no stopping. You hook up, you go, you get to your destination, you unhook, and you're there, right? Getting to Phoenix, now I'm used to driving 10, 12 hours a day. That's not a big deal to me, but you still can't make Phoenix from Austin in 12 hours. It would be a much longer day than that. Not to mention pulling a 15,000-pound trailer. Certainly changes the dynamics and the stress level because I'm so new to this that I broke it up a little bit. So I left the Austin area on Friday and just drove about an hour and a half just to kind of get out of town, get on the road, but I didn't want to go too far because I didn't leave till later in the day. And the idea was it would take me 3 days to get to Phoenix, and I was going to boondock, or I was going to boondock 3 nights basically to get out here. Now, for those of you that may not know, boondocking is where you basically don't hook up to anything. You're not at an RV park. You're just somewhere basically to sleep. And so a lot of wineries and farms and things like that will make these available for people that are just passing through. And that's all I wanted to do. I wanted to stop, sleep, get up in the morning, and get moving, right? So I stop at this winery, I hook up, I don't even talk to anybody, there's nobody else there. And it was fine, right? I slept through the night, I got up the next morning, hooked back up, and got on the road, right? And so the RV has its own battery, and this will be important in a moment. But so getting my jacks, stabilized and, pulling them up when I hook up, and I've got slides on either side of the rig that go in and out. Of course, you need electric for all of that. At some point, I was under the impression that while my trailer was hooked up to my truck while we're driving, of course, via the plug, the 7-pin connector that gives you lights and blinkers and all that kind of stuff, I was under the impression that that was actually charging the battery on my trailer. Turns out that is not the case. And for those of you who have been RVing for any period of time, you're probably laughing at me. But hey, we were all new at one point, and that's me right now, right? So I've been reliant on Google and ChatGPT, and that seems to give me that impression. Turns out that's not the case. So Saturday morning, I get up, I hit the road, and it ends up being a 9-hour drive. I ended up driving to New Mexico, and along the way, as I'm cruising along, I look back in my mirror and I see one of the little panels off the side of the RV just rip loose and take off and fly. So I ended up seeing a few truckers that obviously had to stop and deal with that. And I didn't really know what to do at that point. Stopping would have been more dangerous for me. There's nothing I could have done to help the situation, so I just went on. So if you happen to be on I-10 on Saturday and saw this or experienced this in any way, shape, or form, my deepest apologies. If there was something I could have done, I absolutely would have. Fortunately, it was a non-essential panel. It was basically around the wheel well on one of the sides, which was the bottom of one of the slides as well. Sucks, but it's not the end of the world. So I get to my location in New Mexico. I'm at a winery once again, and same thing, get out, get everything all set up, sleep through the night, get up in the morning, and the battery on my rig is completely dead. So this means that I can't adjust my jacks so that I can get it sized up and lined up right to hook up the fifth wheel to the back of my truck. I can't move the slides in. I start freaking out. I don't know what to do. I plug it into the truck thinking that maybe just being plugged in, I could get all of this done. Couldn't get it. I mean, it just didn't have enough power, enough juice to get any of this handled. So a little bit more online research, and I figured out that I could actually jumpstart, well, I guess charge the battery on the rig with the battery on my truck with jumper cables. So I did. I managed to get everything hooked up. Took longer than I had hoped or expected, but whatever. It was fine. The plan was to boondock one more night before coming to the RV park that I'm staying at here in Phoenix. And I thought that would ultimately be a bad idea. I tried to move up my reservation and just get to the RV park early, but it was Sunday and nobody was manning the park. So shit out of luck. So I ended up staying at a Love's gas station. They have little RV like hookups, full electric, full water that are actually really, really nice. And so I managed to get set up there, and I'm all good. I'm hooked up, water. I took a shower. God, I needed a shower so bad. And then took my dog, Trinity, out to the little dog park, which was literally right behind the back of my RV. And we're out there for 20 minutes or so, just kind of hanging out. I ended up being out BSing with some guy that was out there with his dog. And I go to get back in, and I managed to have locked myself out of the RV. It is now 6 o'clock at night on a Sunday, and I'm kind of smack in the middle between Phoenix and Tucson, an hour from either one. And I'm so frustrated. I don't know what to do. And I had somebody kindly suggest, hey, why don't you call AAA? So I called AAA. I have the RV package. Well, I guess you don't call AAA anymore. I went on the app and I filled everything out and said, look, I've locked myself out of my RV. I need to get in. And they said, no problem. We'll send somebody out. 2 hours of waiting for this. It's now past 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday. And I get a call from AAA, and the young girl says, I'm so sorry to have waited this long to reach out to you, but we just noticed that the issue you're having is that your RV is where you're locked out of, not your vehicle. We only do vehicle opening. We can't open an RV. You need to call a locksmith. 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday, and I'm between cities. Like I'm like right smack in the middle. So, ended up making some calls, found a guy who was kind enough and willing to, for a significant fee, drive the hour and change it took him to get to me, spend 45 seconds unlocking me and charging me $350 before he went back home. You reap what you sow. Again, another lesson learned there. I really am getting a crash course in what not to do in the world of RVing. But I did manage to get in. It was 9:30 or so. We settled in, slept through the night, got up in the morning, and made it out to the RV park where I am now. And that is ultimately been my story so far. I share this with you guys just because this is going to be part of my life over the course of the next year. I will be traveling around. I will be exploring new places. And quite frankly, if I'll let you guys know where I'm going to be. And if you're local, let's go grab a cup of coffee or something like that. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to really connect with other traders in a way that I think we just so rarely get a chance to do these days. But nonetheless, I wanted to share my horror stories of my first bout of RVing. I did get a chance to trade this morning. It wasn't a great day. I ended up essentially break even after aggressively trying to fix a problem. So was rewarded for bad behavior. Really trying to get out of that habit and just accept the losses. But I struggled today. I'm not going to blame it on the drama of RVing over the course of the last few days and feeling like I needed a win, but maybe, I don't know. I'm definitely working through some of that. The other thing that I wanted to share with you, just because this is it's Tuesday right now, February 24th, and I'm going to post this today. This is the last day to get 90% off at Apex Trader Funding. So I'll put the link in the comments, and make sure you use coupon code FORGE. God dang it, FORGED. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. And make sure to use coupon code FORGE. You'll get that 90% discount. You guys know this sale does not come around often, so make sure to take full advantage of it. And this is it. So this is the last day of the sale. Make sure to stock up on anything that you might need or that you might expect to need in short order. Just take full advantage of it while you can. Anyway, as always, I appreciate you guys for indulging me in the opportunity to do a little storytelling today. I love you all. God bless. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your week. I will be coming back with a recap on the week on Friday after I'm all said and done for the week. Other than that, keep an eye out for further announcements on the Forged Trader on Apex. Go to Apex Trader Funding, use coupon code FORGE to get 90% off today, and I will see you guys soon.